you got me. Flocking, do you remember how the investigation team searched for rogue ID cards at the scene of the crime? You mean with the scanning device? That's right. If the investigation team has it on hand, we can use it to search for Ivy's missing card. I see, but where do you intend to look? Easy. It must be in the possession of one of our two suspects. Both Max and Dean were immediately questioned by the police following the incident, so there would have been no time to hide the card. Well, no time to hide it any further than where the investigation team has already scanned for it. So if that's the case, it could be in this very room, in the culprit's pocket. Bailiff, please scan this witness using the device. To throw him in juvie. No, hold on a minute. Ivy's ID card. That's it. That's Ivy Field's ID card. This is unbelievable. Are you saying that's wrong? You have it all wrong. I didn't. You can't believe him.
Objection.
And why not? You've clearly stolen something from an employee of Tactile Synthetics, and there's only one reason why. It seems there's nowhere left for you to run, you repulsive terrorist. What? You can't be serious. You can't know about that. What's happening here? Is this the answer to Flocking's cryptic warning from earlier? Order. We must have order. Mr. Cross, if you intend to implicate Mr. Marion, then we must hear the full story. How could he have been responsible for this crime? The root of this whole mystery, the method of murder, still eludes us. But right now, all the pieces of the puzzle are lining up, and they point to Dean Berrien. He must be the culprit. If I keep pushing hard enough, everything should fall into place. Very well. I will demonstrate to the court how this murder was committed. Please bring the scenario markers to the center of the room. Oh shit, now I get to be all... Boop, 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 boop. Oh shit. It was the ring. Abby's. Prosecution will now demonstrate the precise moment that the victim perished using the evidence we've collected from the scene. During a demonstration, my goal is to align the clues I've encountered in such a way that the judge can clearly see the timeline of events. Several markers have been placed to indicate the position of the victim, the culprit, and the culprit's weapon. Well, this certainly is interesting. Can I ask what the point of that table is? Is there to replicate the state of the testing chamber on March 11th? Well, you didn't believe the crime occurred there. Wasn't the victim found in the lab room? There are two reasons to suspect this is the true location of Abigail's death. The first is the security system records that show her entering the room. And the second is a piece of tape that was found in the testing chamber which matches the type used by Dean's delivery company. Since our witness here claims the tape fell on March 10th, which is impossible due to the security requirement, it likely arrived on March 11th. The day that we know he had Ivy's ID card in his possession. I can't be certain, but it definitely works out well this way. And if I'm wrong, this setup could easily apply to somewhere else in the lab. Crucially, some sort of table must have been behind the victim. Very well. I'm curious to see how you'll explain it. You may proceed with your demonstration. Yes, Your Honor. For this demonstration, I should walk to each important spot in the recreation and present the evidence that belongs there. I can move by pressing WSAD, and I can change the camera with the mouse or joystick. To inspect something important, I can press space or click on the mouse when I'm facing it. A prompt will tell me if I'm in range. I also perform the inputs to talk to people. This should be helpful during investigations as well. Alright, time to get to work. Okay, so... arguments is something the culprit was holding. Based on what we know about the crime scene, it should be the knife. I'm gonna say, because I'm pretty sure I know. Well, what do we have here? Interesting. So you choose to save at this exact moment. Again. This moment, right now, what a coincidence! You! Do you know this moment in the story happens to be a puzzle that you have to solve with your brain? It's crazy, I know, but you weren't expecting that in a game like this. But you weren't expecting. Yeah, consequences are so overrated. We should all just save and reload whenever we feel like it, right? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? A few funny lines with a little chibi cross, is that it? Anyways, don't worry. I'm not going to judge you. I promise. I'm a lawyer, not a judge. They don't pay me enough for that kind of work. Make him lose on purpose out of spite. I'm only saving in case I screw it up, but I'm pretty sure I've got this down. Those little... Oh, those are great. Okay, so... We say he's... Even though there are no fingerprints... The knife is being used to threaten the victim. I see. So that's where you're going with this. This is one crucial piece of the puzzle I think we all could have expected. This table is behind the victim at the moment of her death. I know something must go here to replicate the conditions of the scene. So what was it? This is a decisive clue that will tie this whole thing together. The electromagnet in the package. That's it. That's the answer we've been looking for. The package that Dean Varian was carrying had been placed on this table. Good catch, Cross. This is inferred by the piece of tape, right? Were you the one dismissing the tape not too long ago? Yes, but more importantly, it was necessary for the culprit's plan. It'll become clear soon why this was a crucial part of the method of murder. This is gonna be the victim. Though it should be obvious, I should solidify this for the sake of demonstration. The victim of this crime was... Now can I pick Conrad? Present Cross! I have to. No, wait. Was I the victim? My memory is failing me. Maybe I was there at Tactile Synthetics Lab yesterday. I know that look in your eyes, Cross. Don't get any ideas. I should think of something else. Was I the victim? Wow. Abigail Groughton. She was the one that died. Yippee. I think we already knew that, Cross. Right, but I'm confirming it. Very well, it's confirmed. And finally... Though I covered it already, the culprit must be... Dean. This is cool. I like how this is set up. Dean Varian, you're the one responsible. Think what you like. It's not true. I think the court will see through your lie quite easily once this all comes together. That's everything. When I'm ready to continue, I should inspect the prosecutor's bench so I can review the state of the scene. This time, it's time to finally expose Dean's true nature to the world. Is there a way to run, or do I just meander? Can I just walk out of the courtroom? Oh, I can't! Whoa there, don't go that way. There are monsters that way, yeah. Monsters and demons. No, we absolutely cannot go in that direction. Monsters and demons. Hey, good looking. Right trigger, oh, okay. What's wrong, Cross? Are you looking for help? No, I was just checking up on you. If you're here to ask about our little chat from earlier, don't bother. Save it for until the truth of the matter actually comes to light. In the meantime, I don't mind giving you a little assistance, if you really need it. Please review, yeah, so... Oh wait, is this how I end it, or is this how I ask for a hint? That's a hint, okay, so no. It's kind of, but I think I'll survive that. See yourself. Better hit then. So wait, I thought, don't I, or do I could prosecute, I mean, prosecutor's bench is what he said. I'm a moron. There we go. Should I proceed with the demonstration now? Yes. Alright, I think it's time to end this. I like the fact that although I wasn't fully correct all the time, I was on the right path most of the time, and we figured it out. I had fun with this. People of the court, I see to draw your attention towards these markers that we've used to replicate the testing chamber. Shortly after Max Polidera left the lab, Ivy Field passed out in the hallway. While she was unconscious, Dean Varian approached from the lobby and used this opportunity to steal her ID card. Because he was not an employee of Tactile Synthetics, he couldn't have known that no ID card was necessary to pass through the doorway that day. Importantly, he carried a package that had not been opened yet through this entire ordeal. Dean entered the lab room and found Abigail working there. Shocked, he must have come up with some excuse, which I will assume he had to do with the delivery. Under the pretense of unwrapping the package, he convinced Miss Graviton to escort him into the testing chamber. This room was perfect for carrying out his plan, because it was secluded and required identification to enter. For some reason we can't fully comprehend yet, he was determined to kill her. So with that dark purpose burning in his heart, he placed the package on the table and opened it up. This is the moment of truth. Inside the package rested supposed lab equipment, a powerful magnet that could be activated with the press of a button. He must have activated it without Abigail noticing. I will now replicate this action. Oh my, everyone, hold on to your wallets! Hold on to your wallets. Just as I thought. This electromagnet takes some time to fully power on. It didn't even make a sound when I pressed the button. Ugh. Now that everything was in place, he quickly turned and pulled out that knife. He switched places with the victim in such a way that her back was facing the package he had just opened. By this point, the lights would have gone out, but that didn't matter for his plan. Because the electromagnet was battery operated. Kill him? God. What they talked about in those last minutes we may never know, but what we do know is that at precisely 3:06 p.m., the magnet activated, and the knife flew straight at the victim with an insanely high velocity. Oh shit. No. How? So I didn't want to believe that my deduction was wrong. There's no way that Max Coladera is the culprit. Not with that look on Varian's face. You little... As a result, I may lose this trial to flocking. The defendant will be declared innocent. But if that's the price I have to pay for proper justice, then I'll accept defeat. The prosecution's demonstration is complete. Damn! Have fun in juvie! Though everyone's fate is surely sealed by this point, I have a feeling we're not quite done yet. After all, Flocking's warning, the reason why Varian wanted to kill Abigail, there's too much at stake to simply call it quits now. My word, that was quite the demonstration. I would like to note that someone nearly died as a result of your stunt, Cross. The world is probably better off without that criminal. Damn, girl. This is a place of judgment, not execution. That's down the hall. I'm inclined to agree with Counselor Woodman. It was dangerous to activate the magnet without proper safety procedures. In fact, I think your demonstration turned our witness speechless. Apologies, Your Honor. However, I think it's now crystal clear how this crime was committed. Over their dinner date? Rainbow is now canon. Oh god, I love the fact that the third game will just be about the relationship. In order to pull off a 90-mile-per-hour strike stated in the autopsy report, this electromagnet was placed behind the victim. The one in possession of the electromagnet was none other than Dean Varian. I believe this is proof enough that he is the one responsible. The only mystery left is why he wanted to kill Abigail in the first place. So talk, what is your connection to the Nexus Division, and what made you want to commit murder? I hear Max is single now. Dora. Somehow I knew it would end this way. But even so, I can't. Tell us the truth. There's no escape. This is your chance to improve the situation for yourself. If you don't speak, we must assume the worst. You're wrong. He has a free ring now. I'm sorry, Dora. You're probably going to, I'm sorry. Order, please. Are you not Abigail's killer? I'm not.
Objection.
Then why does Conrad's theory line up so well with the evidence we were provided? Sounds convenient, sure. But if there's one thing I've learned standing here today, is that your deduction is pointless without concrete proof. I can't believe it. After all that, he's still trying to escape this, and there's no fingerprints on the knife. Go ahead. Show me the proof, Conrad. They may not have anything decisive recorded currently, but that doesn't mean we can't verify the truth through analysis. Crucially, if we were permitted to analyze this piece of evidence, it would clearly point to your involvement. Oh shit, which, oh shit, which one? I want to say the package? I wasn't expecting another puzzle! God damn it! It's either the package or Ivy's ID card. Oh, a spot of blood is staying in the front. That's it, it's the blood. It's gotta be the blood on that. The ID card that's found in your person belonged to Ivy Field. We know you had it on you when the crime occurred, and you must have attempted to use it when entering the lab room. So it stands to reason the blood that stains this card may very well belong to Abigail Graviton. Bailiff, start the analysis immediately. With the equipment we have on hand and the existing sample of blood recovered from the scene, it should only take a few minutes. Whatever. If it wasn't blood, that still doesn't prove I did anything. Mr. Berrien, the ID card was found in your pocket and you were likely the last person to see Abigail alive. If you were close enough to get to the victim's blood on something in your possession, then why didn't you report her death to the police? Alright, then how about this? It'd be too stupid of me to offer, so there's no way I would have resorted to such a thing. That's an absolutely meaningless defense. You're every bit as stupid as you describe. Hey! Might you enlighten the court, then? Why would it be such a mistake to kill her? You already know the answer, lady. It's who that human Filth worked for. The Nexus Division. Human Filth? She just... And she called him a terrorist. What? So he's confirming it? Abigail Graviton was a damn traitor and a blemish on our country's dignity. She was sent to the Tactile Synthetics building as a mole. They're trying to leech off the company's research and hand her spy on their latest developments. No way. I can't believe that. Believe it or not, it's the entire reason I went undercover as a delivery man. Wait, you're unemployed? You're unemployed? I don't think that was the shocking part of his testimony, Your Honor. She worked well enough as an employee, sure, but she was up to no good when nobody was watching. Under the orders of the Nexus Division, she recorded information about everyone she worked with and every project Tactile Synthetics undertook. She sent the division a copy of every single technological advancement in the field of artificial intelligence that was made by lab researchers. Why? Why go through all the trouble? Because the Nexus Division wanted an edge in their own research. They needed it to put their most valuable asset to use. They wanted to decrypt the Zero data. The Zero data? And that letter, ZD. It's all over the place and I'm here for it! You're talking about the ZD that was mentioned in the letter found in the victim's pocket? It's just a goddamn prologue! Yeah, that's right. I had no idea that it slipped right under my nose. I delivered the Zero data straight to her, but when she opened it, I realized my mistake. I was too caught up playing the role. I never considered that they just mailed the stupid thing. I would try to steal it from the division for the longest time. That's why I had to make my move yesterday. That's why. I had to steal Ivy's ID card and try to get it from the lab. But Abigail was there, and I wasn't able to search properly. Whatever the Nexus Division plans to do with the Zero data, it will surely spell disaster for our country. The murder was an accident. He was threatening her with the knife to get her to give up the Zero data, and the electromagnet was already turned on and it just flooped right out of his hand. Perhaps too sensitive a topic to cover this trial. The victim's involvement with the government organization may not be suitable for the public to hear. Hold on, Your Honor. There's still one thing we should clarify. You mentioned going undercover as a delivery man and trying to steal whatever this thing is. It's because you're part of that group, right? Call me a terrorist if that makes you feel better. The fact is, I fight for a better tomorrow at the cost of today. That's just me thinking as a writer who likes twists like that. Under Trey's leadership, we've come quite far, and we don't care who we have to threaten to make a change to the legal system. I can't believe it. This whole time, he was affiliated with one of those rebellion movements? It'd be an understatement to say that we've been at odds with this country's government. You will fear us soon. Nobody wants to hear you preach your cause. I just need you to confirm it. And now that you have, I believe we can all see what kind of person Mr. Dean Berrien really is. He is undoubtedly responsible for the victim's death. Therefore, Max Caldera must be innocent. I request an immediate verdict. Sir, I have the results of the analysis. Sir. I see. Perhaps this will allow us to fulfill Miss Flocking's request. Prosecution was correct. The victim's blood was found on the ID card. Yeah. Decisive evidence that you must have been involved with this crime. Quite right you are. Very well then. Counselors, we will now vote to determine the guilt of Max Caldera. Who's objecting? No. It's not over yet. No way. How is it possible for him to refute this? As I said before, I'm not the one who killed that piece of government trash. And nothing you've done here can change that. I know what piece of evidence it's gonna be. Then how can you explain the blood that was found on Ivy's ID card? Easy now. I'm sure I can clear this up. Will you allow me to testify? I think it's only right that you should hear my side of the story too. Oh, you bitch! Very well, but this is your absolute last chance. If you can't convince us that you are innocent of this crime, we will hold a vote to determine the verdict. Mr. Cross, I must request your examination of the witness's statements. Of course, Your Honor. I'll put an end to his lies. Glad to hear it. Let's proceed. Ugh. I found the girl passed out of a hallway at 3 p.m. I used the opportunity to take her ID card. Okay, we know that is true. Then I entered the lab room. I didn't see anybody at first, so I entered the testing chamber. What I found was shocking. Abigail Graviton was there, lying on the ground, a knife embedded in her. She was already dead. The lights probably went out. I was scared. Though I hated her guts, I couldn't leave her alone like that, so I started moving her into the lab room. While I dragged her, the ID card I was holding must have touched some of her blood. That's how it was stained before I put it in my pocket. I placed her behind the desk, but suddenly had a thought a few minutes before the power returned. It would look incredibly suspicious if I was found with her in that state, so I decided to flee. I left the room and saw the girl who owned that ID card scrambled off, so I couldn't return it to her. Bless came back, and I was able to check the time. It was 3:12. I was posing as a delivery man, and I intended to steal the zero data, but I didn't kill anyone yesterday. The police questioned me afterwards, and I left out this part so they wouldn't think I was responsible. In terms of murder, I'm innocent. The story's far different than what you told us earlier today. Yeah, that's because I lied. What are you gonna do about it? Lying under oath invokes the wrath of justice. You've already secured yourself a felony charge. So what? At least you know I didn't kill her. Sure, I committed crimes, but I didn't stoop to that. Earlier you seemed adamant about hurting anyone that got in the way of your group's cause. Why should we believe a word you say? Because I must be innocent until proven guilty, right? You still can't prove that I did anything to harm her. What about the duct tape found in the testing chamber? I must have been stuck to my shoe or something like that. It means nothing to the rest of my story. The fact is, Abigail might have deserved her fate, but I didn't deal the killing blow. This is violent, but I know the truth of what really happened. He's using his ideology to justify his horrific actions, and I can't forgive anyone who believes that they have the right to decide who lives or dies. Mediocre. I won't tolerate any reason you give to disregard the loss of an innocent life. There's no way your version of events is true. That's it, that's my rebuttal. What makes you say that? Did I say something wrong? You did. Specifically, the part about finding Abigail already dead as you entered the testing chamber. There's no way she could have passed away before you entered the room, and this proves it. The autopsy, she died at 3:06. And if it's not the autopsy report, then it's the passage record, because yeah, it's gotta be. Does the court remember the original details of the autopsy report? The basic premise of the case indicates that Abigail died at precisely 3:06 p.m. So how is it possible that the lights went out at 3:02 p.m. if that happened after you had already entered the testing chamber? Indeed, that is quite convincing. Witness, how do you explain this inconsistency?
Objection.
This is a farce. We can't allow him to continue this charade. But how do we know that she died instantly? What? The autopsy report says she died at 3:06, but it doesn't say she died immediately from the knife that stabbed her. It's quite possible that she was still alive as I carried her out into the lab room, only for her to die once I placed her down a few minutes later. Are you kidding me? You didn't think to check for her pulse or something? No, not at all. I was just so overtaken by fear that I wasn't thinking straight. This bitch. Based on study notes and details, getting no, we cannot rule out this situation. Crap, this didn't help at all. No matter, there must still be something wrong with this testimony. I'll correct that statement for the court. I was there, lying on the ground, knife embedded in her. It's possible that she was still alive. But it hit her like 90 miles an hour, is it? I don't like it, but we must accept it for now. Please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. This is it. One last chance to prove that Dean Barrion is the true culprit. One last chance to end this before he escapes justice. Press down in the hallway, 3 p.m. Use the opportunity to take her ID card. Then I entered the lab room. I didn't see anybody first, so I entered the testing chamber. But what I found was shocking. Lying on the ground, a knife embedded in her. It's possible that she was still alive. Wait. He entered... No, wait. Oh, I was gonna say she entered after him, but no, it's... He entered after her. God damn it. Never mind. But no, it shows the only people that entered was these two. I think this is... So that, yeah, before the lights went out. But where do I use it? Save time? It's gotta be, it has to be the records. It shows only 2 people entered at 3:02 p.m. And then the lights went out. God. So who could have killed her if she... Yeah, nobody else went in there. Well, she was struck at 3. Yeah, the test chamber, the only person that entered was those 2. It has to be it. But where do I use it? I promptly went out. I was scared. What do I... I feel like it's the passage records that's gonna be important here. Because only Abigail and only Ivy's card went in there, period. OX5C3E. But am I using it in the right spot? So enter the lab and then the testing chamber. Wait. No! Oh! He entered the lab at 3:01. Then she entered the lab at 3:02. She had to be in there! Either way, I'm right! Yes!
Objection.
Fuck yeah! See, I got the spirit! You claim to have entered the testing chamber by yourself, only to find Abigail already unconscious inside. I'm sorry to say, that's not possible. Because the security system records show that Abigail must have entered with you. Oh, I was right there. No! This madness has to stop. Every excuse you make up will simply be proven wrong. You are the one who killed Abigail, and you obfuscated the evidence by moving the body from its original location. Then you tried to blame it on Ivy Field, whose ID card you stole. If your ideology led you to frame an innocent person for murder, then I won't even hold an ounce of pity for you. If you have no guilt or remorse over the heinous act you've committed, then the only thing you deserve is to rot in prison. Oh my god, yeah, I just... I didn't mean to kill... I was right, it was an accident. The electromagnetic turn on just foomped it right out of his hand. He knocked out Ivy. He didn't take her... He knocked her out. We saw in the beginning that somebody got hit and down, and then there was like... and then she's... Yeah, we saw it all in the beginning. Ah! So you finally admit it? You're the one responsible for this? I let her into the testing chamber under the pretense of verifying the contents of the package. I started opening it. In a lapse of judgment, I activated the electromagnet, thinking it might help reveal the zero data by pulling it in. I was so horribly stupid. When nothing changed, I thought it wouldn't work. I had no idea what the specifications of the magnet were. So in my desperation, I pulled a knife on her and cornered her in the room. I demanded that she tell me the location of the data, but she wouldn't talk. Then, the magnet activated, and the knife flew out of my hand. Though I didn't mean to kill Abigail, I still threatened her. I bear the blame for her death. It was my fault. And I do feel regret for my actions. I thought the cause was worth the loss of my humanity, but... it turns out I may not be cut out for this, for that sort of life after all. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Berry into a holding cell and bring the defendant to the stand. I did it. He confessed. My job here is done. Time to let the justice system take care of the rest. Mr. Cross, for losing your case, you are now fired. God damn. Whew. That's a good feeling. Order in the court. Since the true culprit behind this murder has been revealed, we can make an accurate assessment on the defendant's guilt. I'll be expecting both counselors to vote in favor of his immediate release. Told you this is a waste of energy. Mr. Caldera, is there anything you wish to say to the court following these recent developments? Yeah. I thought that Abby and I were perfect together. Though it's only been a few months since we went official. I could tell she was different. She was good to me, like no one ever was before. His girlfriend passed away and everyone jumped to accuse him, including me. It must have been extremely difficult to continue on. This was. Now she's gone. I can't believe that I was the right person for her. Right person for her. I'm terrible at my job. Terrible at feeling empathy for others. Terrible at understanding what she wanted in life. I could tell she was destined for so much more, and I was the one holding her back. But in reality, it was a knife that held her back at 90 miles per hour. I'm useless. I'm just a waste of space. Ouch! I haven't been honest with the court either. I was just so upset to see Abby spending that much time in the lab. She cared so much about her job. I knew there was some reason behind her intense work schedule. I suspected she was leaking information to someone. In fact, she knew that I had caught on to her. I saw her sending emails from her private address just a few weeks ago. Too soon. Yet still, she trusted me, and I trusted her. But I couldn't stand to see her sacrificing so much of her time and energy for whoever she was working with. I didn't get it at all. I left the room angry that day. I wanted her to take a break. I looked for a way to get her out of that room. That was the only way I could think of to get her to stop. So, amongst all those servers, I found a circuit breaker for the building. I was the one that cut the power yesterday. Oh. Welcome back, Dora. It was indeed Dean Berrien, but he didn't mean to kill her. The electromagnet turned on at the wrong moment and pulled the knife out of his hand and stabbed her. But he still was like a bad guy. And then it was what was it? Max is the one that cut the power. You put everyone in your building at risk because you wanted to interrupt Abigail's work? Come on, you old onion. I thought it was harmless. Come on, you old onion. Yeah. If it wasn't for me and that weird noise I heard beforehand, things might have been different. He must be talking about the noise that caused Ivy to faint. Ivy getting hit. I expected Abby to come rushing into the server room and finally throw some attention my way, but instead, nobody showed up. I got worried. I walked into the lab room and found her, lying there. She's behind the desk. It was too late. Someone had killed her. Cheer, cheer, motherfucker. I freaked out. In my panic, I must have dropped my ID card at her feet. Why didn't you testify about this before? It could have saved us a lot of trouble. I told you that I left the server room after the power went out. It would have implicated me as the culprit. I'd rather get charged for murder rather than, you know, a bad prank. How can you lie to me? In reality, I checked up on her, but when I saw that awful scene, I fled and turned the power back on so nobody would be the wiser. I lied so that you wouldn't suspect me. I put up a good front, but I care for my Abby more than you could know. Never trusted Dean, never trusted Max. That's why this whole thing must be my fault. I'm the reason that she's dead. Tampering with the electricity of your workplace will result in some form of punishment, but it will be decided at a later time. Whatever it is, it's not enough. I'm responsible. I'm a failure of a human being. It's clear to me now that I was terrible for her. We never would have had a future together. You're not wrong, but that's not true. You're just saying that crap to make things easy for yourself, but there's no getting around who I am as a person. It's an on-off switch, it's fine. I'm nothing, I'm nobody. I must have never truly loved her. You're wrong. I know that you did care for her. I knew it was going to come into play. If you were still around, you would have wanted a long future with her as your partner. Oh yeah? Then why don't you do what you're supposed to do as a lawyer and prove it? The ring! Civvy! This is proof that you did love Abigail. The duct tape. Kinky. The ring that was found in the server room. You were going to give it to her, right? How did you... That's rough. Yes, I had it in my pocket for the longest time. I was waiting to propose. But after I saw what happened to her, I broke down. I held that ring in my hands as I cried in the server room. And I left it there, because I knew I didn't deserve to keep it. Take the ring back and honor her memory by learning from your mistakes. It's not your fault that she was killed, and there's no use thinking about what could have been. You're right to be concerned about her health, but as an honest discussion should have been the first step towards a better future with her. Yeah. I don't know the detail of your relationship with Abigail, and I don't have the slightest idea what the right decision was in the end. But if you truly wanted to understand why she worked so hard, I'm sure that she would have trusted you enough to talk about it. What did you do, Quiz? You're an improvement. The ring! Civvy! This is proof that you did love Abigail. Then he would have really been stuck with her. Quiz! Oh, right. Civvy! Alright, I'm so sorry to all of you, and I'll accept the consequences of my poor decisions. That's what she would have wanted. That's good. I know she'd be proud of your courage. It's a start. God damn it, I love this game. Quiz. Out of the way, we can finally hold our vote. Determine whether Max Coladera is guilty of murder. What say you, Counselor Woodman? That was quite the turn of events. I'm not fully convinced that we have a solid timeline of what truly occurred. However, there is no denying that Mr. Berrien confessed to the crime. Not guilty. Very good. And Counselor Crawford? Well, I'm quite disappointed in the prosecution for abandoning their initial argument. I encourage you to acquire a more accurate assessment of the situation in the future. Then you'll be able to hunt all sorts of criminals. Sure, I'll do that. But in the end, the justice system's thirst for vengeance has been satisfied with the capture of Dean Berrien. Fuck you, Crawford. Our society's one step closer to perfection. Not guilty. Let's find a new girl. Oh, God. Decided, though I believe the defendant's mind will be better left at ease having seen my vote as well. Not guilty. I can't believe it. Max Coladera has been found not guilty of the murder of Abigail Graviton. The defendant is cleared of all charges. I did my duty to the court and found the truth. Mr. Coladera, you are free to go, but do expect communications from the police regarding your revised testimony within the next few days. That is all. Court dismissed. This was just the goddamn prologue. I had no idea what I was getting into when this case started. I thought it would be open and shut. But as I'm often reminded, the truth can hide much deeper than you may expect. It happened again, that feeling of forgetfulness and insecurity. An awful pain that surges within me as I struggle to find my footing. I've been trying to follow the path Nail laid out for me, but I have lost sight of what truly matters in the pursuit of... But have I lost sight of what truly matters in the pursuit of justice? No matter what situation I face, I must remain vigilant. That's likely what my mentor would tell me, if he was able to. Oh, that was so good. Oh my God. Oh, there are flocking. Another engaging trial, Cross. Likewise. Too bad you didn't come out on top this time. But who can blame you with the situation turning out like that? I know that you have a job to do, but we have to focus on finding the truth. What's wrong? Is the reality of the situation too much for you to handle? That cryptic warning you gave me during the break, what was that all about? Hey, we saw that! Still caught up on that, please. I could tell from the start that the Nexus Division was interfering with the investigation. Or did you not notice the signs? You mean the evidence that was delayed in getting to the courtroom? I figured they were behind it, but you mentioned having a true enemy that we had to work together to overcome. Were you talking about the Nexus Division? I'll spare you the details, but I've had an encounter with them before. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but messing with the results of a trial like they just did is no laughing matter. They interfered because Abigail Graviton was a member of their group. Were they trying to keep her cover intact? And that's not all. They seem to have some sort of quarrel with that terrorist organization. Yeah, please don't spoil. Oh. Criminal hiding as a lawyer. It's true. Something about Dean's testimony bothered me. A thing he was after. Something called the Zero Data. What is it? Beats me, but it hardly matters at this point. It's probably just another toy that the government invested in. If Dean was desperate enough to threaten Abigail with a knife to find it, there must be more to the story. I couldn't help but overhear you kids talking. A moment, if you would. Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you, exactly? That's not important right now. The matter is quite urgent. What is with this guy? No introduction in a shady overcoat? I don't like this. It's imperative that we talk in private, Mr. Cross. It concerns a case that I would like you to take, and I should add that discretion is highly advised. A new case already? You're one busy prosecutor. I don't understand why you had to approach me now of all times. I was just getting my riz on with Miss Flogging. I'm intrigued, but should I really trust him? Let's, talk in my office. It's just a short walk away. Very good. I do believe you won't want to pass up this opportunity. And with that, we're gonna save and we'll come back to this another day because I think it's a good place to stop because, okay, here's the thing. Now I have to play the first one. because I enjoyed this so freaking much, I have to play the first one now.